Hi everybody, welcome to That's Football. Wow, Zubimendi has rejected a transfer to Liverpool. I can't speak. I'm absolutely stunned. It's amazing. It's almost as amazing as our link up with Super 6, which we're going to talk about in a moment, where you could win 2 million in the opening weekend of this Premier League season playing against each other. But we're here to talk about Zubimendi first of all. He has rejected a move to Liverpool, and Liverpool may not look at an alternative to their first and only summer signing. It's incredible. What are your thoughts on this? I did a video last week because the way Liverpool work as best in class, that deal looked absolutely nailed on. In a new Liverpool without Jurgen Klopp, is this a new world for Liverpool where deals that, I've seen the clips. Even I did a video saying, look, what a great deal. It's not my problem. I'm happy it's fallen through as a Man United fan. I said on the podcast yesterday what one player puts Liverpool into a potential title race, and I felt Zubimendi was it. Without that player, I think there's more of a risk there for Liverpool now. We'll get into why, what, and what happens now with Liverpool. But let me just talk to you this as well. Really excited about this. What a link up with Super 6. You'll all know what Super 6 is. 6 Premier League fixtures. You predict the score lines. You score points from how many you get right. And you can win cash prizes. It's free to enter. And we have got our own league set up as well. We've got one on the United stand, but this is That's Football. This is the That's Football League. So this weekend, in general, if you play, you've got a chance of winning a whopping £2 million, absolutely free, just by playing the game. I've played the game. It's fantastic. All you need to do is head over to the Super 6 app. We've got the link in the description, or you can scan the QR code. Enter your score predictions from Arsenal Wolves, Newcastle Southampton, Everton Brighton, West Ham Villa, Brentford Palace, Chelsea, Man City, and you can compete and win that prize depending on how you do. But in addition to that, you can also compete every week in our league, where we will have our own prizes given away each week to the person who does the best, starting off with a £100 voucher for classic football shirts. Absolutely love that. All you've got to do is use the code THATS6 to enter the That's Football League. Get involved. We're going to be talking about this every week. The Super 6 League. So excited for this link up. Let's see if you can beat me every week, because I'm quite excited. Just one little spoiler. I'm going to say Villa beat the hipster West Ham, won the transfer window. My arse. Man United have won the transfer window. I think Villa will win despite all the hype around West Ham. But get your score predictions in. Take me on and let me know down in the comments what you think your score predictions are going to be. Remember, the code is THATS6 to play in the That's Football Super 6 League. But don't forget to play for free every week, and this week the general prize is 2 million. Get involved. Very excited for this. Big shout out to Super 6. Right, not a big shout out for Liverpool. What are your thoughts? If I was live, I'd be reading all sorts of meltdowns. I've seen the Liverpool fan meltdowns. That's a very personal thing to them. I understand that. As I said, even I thought this deal was done, and I think the evidence over the past few years from Liverpool is that they swoop in on a deal from nowhere and they get it done super quickly. Efficient, effective, and, what we would call ruthless. But it's a ruthless snubbing by Zubimendi, who apparently has been persuaded by Real Sociedad to stay. Look, sometimes these Spanish clubs have a very different pull on their players compared to what we're used to in the Premier League. Maybe Man United have got some pull to keep certain players. We've done it over the years with the likes of Scholes and Giggs and Keane, etc. Liverpool themselves have had it with people like Gerrard and even Salah. But in Spain, it's not always the Barcelonas and the Real Madrids that can keep hold of players and persuade them. And that's clearly what's happened here, because Zubimendi was obviously very, very interested in that Liverpool deal. And also, the incredible thing about this is Real Sociedad can't pull the plug. They can only persuade the player, because once Liverpool activate the release clause, the club is powerless. There is nothing the club can do. The player has a decision to make. If I turn up to a Spanish club and activate a release clause, it doesn't matter what the club say. I've paid the release clause. I'm talking to the player. Shut up. But Sociedad have obviously gone to the player and said, look, we know Liverpool have activated the release clause. We want you to stay for this, that and the other. And he's decided he'd rather stay at Sociedad in La Liga than come to the Premier League and play for Liverpool, which I find incredible. Some would say it's a lack of ambition, but I've got a different take on this. I think Liverpool fans have got every right to be disappointed. And I think he was going to be transformative. I'd have loved him at Man United. I think certainly in relation to the way that Arne Slot wants to play, and I did that video a few days ago, that double pivot, putting someone like Zubimendi in it who can control the ball, would have been really transformative for Liverpool. But when you don't get your own way, the war is lost. And you've just got to get on with it. And in defeat, you can be stronger. There's talk of Barcelona looking at Diaz and doing a swap deal. I know Frankie de Jong's wages are ridiculous, but Frankie de Jong would be a good player at Liverpool. It's just whether he'd want to come and how Liverpool could afford him. There may still be options in the last few weeks, but the overarching fact has to be, if you're a Liverpool fan or a Man United fan or any fan, we had it with de Jong. We wanted de Jong all summer. Constantly heard he didn't want to come. He wanted to stay at Barcelona. We still stayed in the race. We want him. Barcelona want to sell him. He doesn't want to come to United. We didn't get him. You speak to most Man United fans now, we don't want de Jong. Good player, but he never wanted to come to United. And I think with Liverpool, it's got to be the same. If Zubimendi chooses Real Sociedad over Liverpool, you've just got to go as a Liverpool fan. Well, look, it's his loss. Good player. Could have been really important for us. Disappointing because it's in a position that we want. But if he doesn't want to come to Liverpool in the Premier League and wants to stay at Sociedad, he ain't the right player. He might be talented. He did very well in the Euros and he's a very good player. But you want players that are passionate to come to your football club and be part of your project. And clearly he wasn't. Now, some people will take the piss and say he just didn't fancy Liverpool. But as I said last week, Arne Slot, that Liverpool squad, the Premier League at the moment, he's not joining Everton, with all due respect. He's not joining Crystal Palace, with all due respect. He's not joining Fulham like Palhinha did, where it could be a stepping stone. He's going into a club that's in the Champions League that could have a very good season, and he still decided he wants to stay in Sociedad. No criticism of the lad. That's up to him. But if I was a Man United fan and he snubbed us after we'd hit the release clause, I'd be very disappointed, but I'd be like, he's made the decision. The player I want has decided he doesn't want to play for my club. So once the dust settles, I'll be like, no. And I know that there's this reaction that that Liverpool could have done more and FSG and all this, that and the other. But ultimately, what haven't they done? Like, they've agreed a deal for a player very, very quickly. It's the right sort of player. And he's decided he doesn't want to come. Ultimately, disappointing if you're a Liverpool fan, but just remember, he chose not to come. Do you want that personality at the club who doesn't really want to be at your club, who's a bit uncertain? I think that I'd be very surprised if Liverpool don't do something else, because how can you go, we're going to get our new manager, this player that can be really transformative. Oh, we didn't get him, we won't get you anybody. You're telling me Liverpool are going to replace one of their greatest ever managers and give their replacement manager nothing? This would be like Man United not giving David Moyes anything when he replaced Sir Alex Ferguson. I mean, you could say they sort of did do that when they gave him Fellaini, but they surely will dip into the transfer market. I still think Liverpool are a good prospect in this Premier League season. But it would be incredible if a new manager doesn't get any signings. So I think they'll do something. But I'm genuinely stunned. I'm genuinely stunned by it. Anyway, get your comments in below. And also on a positive, and a lot of you will be very positive anyway. I mean, ultimately, as a Man United fan, Liverpool aren't as strong as I thought they were going to be. So I've got to say, this, if you're a Chelsea, Newcastle, United, Villa, Spurs, Liverpool were maybe looking like going near Arsenal and Man City. Does that drag them back into the race for third and fourth? It could be good for us. So, but also what's good for you, Super 6, get involved. Really looking forward to our That's Football League. Remember, the code is That's6. Pick your score predictions for those 6 games this weekend. A £2 million whopping prize can be won. It's free to play. More importantly, get involved in our league each week. That's 6 is the code. Links in the description. Scan the QR code. I'll speak to you on the next one.